As you come to your seat, let your hands rest in your lap. Let the shoulders relax down while giving a little lift to your heart, slightly up. And you can close your eyes. Or bring your gaze down so it's less likely to be distracting. And your mind less likely to be in the ceiling fan of thoughts. And if this is the first time that you're kind of dropping in to be with yourself today, try to get a sense, okay, what's present? What are you coming with into this moment, into this practice? What is alive in you? What is requesting your attention? And to quote James Hollis, he loves the word summoning. What is being summoned in you? And that summoning he's often referring to, what is being summoned from your psyche, from the larger force that is responsible for your evolving, healing, growing. What is being summoned in you? And sometimes this summoning shows up as painful experiences. Sometimes it shows up as a restlessness, or something can feel like you're facing adversity. Sometimes that's how the summoning is showing up. I would say this is the case as our civilization has to face climate change, climate crisis. We're having adversity. What's being summoned? What's being asked of us? Notice if there's any change for you in your relationship to either your personal adversity or the sort of global adversity, any change when you imagine that in response to this adversity or this dilemma, something might be getting summoned. And we aren't just made helpless to the adversity. We aren't just being burdened by the adversity, that maybe something's being summoned. Now let's allow the breath to deepen, and you can imagine that the inhale supports that summoning, whatever it happens to be, to kind of rise from your gut knowing to your heart knowing to your mind knowing. And by mind here I mean your wise mind, not your habitual Ferris wheel mind. So imagine the inhale is bringing that summoning, that knowing upwards from the gut knowing to the heart knowing to your wise mind knowing. And then the exhale can be a time when you kind of shed any resistance. Any resistance to the adversity, the dilemma, or the summons. Can that be shed during the exhale? And then you can join your hands together in Anjali Mudra. And this morning we're going to sing the Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur-Bhuva Suvaha. Let's begin. Om Bhur-Bhuva Suvaha. Tat Savitor Varenyam. Bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo na prachodayata. Om bhurvasuvah tatsavitur varenyam Bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo na prachodayata. Om bhurvasuvah tatsavitur varenyam Bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo na prachodayata. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. And may we have the inner strength, personally and also collectively, that we can respond to what is being summoned. And know that what is being summoned is not coming as punishment, it's coming as an opportunity. You may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Please open your eyes. And I'm going to move back to my yoga mat, and I'd like you to have your chair and a blanket for your knees. And I'll get myself the proper video for you to see. There we go. So with your chair, you can place it at one long end of your mat, and then a blanket for your knees, please. And this blanket this morning is different than yesterday's blanket. It will be for your knees and shins. And the distance that you're going to be from the chair, you will know once you get set up. So I'm going to ask you to have your hands on the chair as if you were doing our chair dog, but stretch back more like table pose. Okay, and in this particular reach, I guess you can think of it like a downward dog table pose combined. In this particular reach, let your ears hover between your upper arms. Reach your hips back towards but not down to your heels. And begin to inhale and exhale more thoughtfully, more completely, and more slowly. And let's imagine on the inhale, the breath is helping to bring your inner gut knowing up towards your heart knowing, and then towards your wise mind knowing. On the exhale here, I want you to gently tone the low belly, increasing the strength of the lower belly as you exhale. And let that increasing strength at the center of your abdomen be a reminder that you have some internal strength. You have enough internal strength to be here for class today, for example. You have the strength of spirit for what's being summoned. You have the growing strength of your practice, your yoga practice. Now once more, press your palms down against the chair, lift your chest and heart, and walk your knees forward towards the chair. Sit back to kneeling for a moment and just notice what's different, already different in you as a result of that short situation. Now we're going to do a variation on thread the needle pose, and first we'll do it as you know it, and then we're going to do a variation using the chair. So if you come to table pose and you take the left arm and thread it under the right arm and try to come down to the left outer shoulder. You can have your left palm facing up, and your right palm can press down to give you support. My hope is that your left shoulder does reach the floor. If it doesn't, I would recommend that you put a blanket down for your shoulder to have support. Press down into your right hand so you're able to support a twist of your torso to the right. There are a variety of places where you might feel a stretch like this. Could even be the left outer hip, left side waist, left lower back. Try to focus your awareness on the pathway of the breath so those sensations are allowed to be there, but don't need to be distracting. So the inhale, in-breath going from the gut knowing to the heart knowing to the mind knowing. And on the exhale, sense again the growing strength you have at your center. Then press down into your right hand and inhale, return to table. Place your left palm flat, take the right arm under to thread the needle. Come down to your right shoulder or use a blanket to reach your right shoulder to the floor. Press down through your left hand to support your twist to your left. And then notice again the pathway of the breath. Of course, there are going to be a variety of other sensations happening for you, of course. So allow those to be like in the periphery of your awareness, with kindness, with respect, but make your primary attention on the experience of the breath. So gut wisdom, heart wisdom, mind wisdom. And then press firmly into your left hand and rise to table pose. Now from where you are, place your right hand back up on the chair seat. Keep the left hand on the floor and just reach back so your hips may come about halfway to your heels. And then take your left forearm to the floor and begin rotating under your right armpit. I'm going to ask you to press down firmly with your left elbow and your left forearm. So you've got strength in the left arm as you twist under your right arm. And with the right arm, please keep your right tricep rolling in towards your nose, not out towards the ceiling. So it's actually a strong position, the strength of the left elbow, the strength of your right arm. And then press into your right hand and make the right arm strong enough that you can glide your left hand back to table. Take your right hand down and then place your left hand up on the chair seat. And as you reach back, let the hips come maybe halfway towards your heels, partway. And then place your right forearm on the floor. And keeping your left arm steady, press into your right elbow to support a twist to your left. This is not a lazy twist. We're not hanging the right elbow down to the floor. You're going to actively keep rooting through your right forearm. Rotate your left tricep in towards your face, not out towards the ceiling. And keeping the left palm strong, press down with your left hand and float yourself back to the right hand to the floor for table, left hand for table. Momentarily sit back to kneeling and notice again what's happening now in your chest, your heart, your shoulders. And you can also ask now, how does it feel to have this sort of summoning from your life? And not only your life, as I was saying, the summons is for us all. When it comes to the ecology, this summoning is for everyone. Now we're going to come up to standing and use the chair for these variations I was talking about before we began class. So you don't need a blanket right now. You can put that aside. So this morning our sun salutation is going to include the chair. We're going to do it right from here. And then we're going to be doing this revolution into triangle pose, a little variation, and a revolution into side angle pose. And I'll try to say right and left, making sense of it for you. So let's stand close enough to the chair, palms together at the heart. And come into your breath, your body, the present moment. If we have a little hypothesis, as James Hillman would say, what is being summoned by the psyche, individual or collective, is not something that we can't bear, but sometimes it will feel like that. To the part of us that doesn't recognize it as something being summoned from within, we might sense that we can't bear it. But he hypothesizes that in fact we can bear it and that it is ours to do so with. So let's now inhale Ujjayi, take the hands down, palms out, reach up. And then exhale, come down, hands to the chair seat. Step your left foot back. And then inhale, rise to your crescent lunge. And exhale to gently descend, keeping your legs stable. Place your hands. Inhale backwards with your right foot into chair dog pose. Exhale forward to plank pose. Inhale back, downward dog pose. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale to rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, descend. Inhale, step forward. Exhale for a little bow towards the chair. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Again, inhale. Exhale, hands to your chair seat. Inhale, left toes back and crescent lunge. Exhale, arms wide, hands to your chair. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale to rise. Exhale, arms wide, lightly touch the chair seat. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, little bow towards the chair. Inhale to rise. Tap into your rooting, grounding, and courage. Exhale, hands to your heart. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, left toes back and crescent lunge. Exhale, descend. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, rise. exhale, descend. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, bow towards the chair. It's like humility, right? And then inhale, rise up, rooting, grounding, courage. Exhale, hands to your heart. When you're ready to, you can then open your eyes to watch me here because I'm going to demonstrate. And we haven't done this together before. Just a moment, I have a waiting room. This is one of my challenges we have to sort through. Okay, so we have not done this triangle pose version before with the chair, and I want you to just watch to get some of the nuances. So when you place the right foot forward, that's going to be my right foot for right now. I want you to be kind of on the back side of the long side of your mat, so you're back here more, not in the center of the chair, but actually towards the right side of the chair, excuse me. And then when I come down, right hand can start here, but what's going to happen is we're going to bring it across, and there'll be a period of time here where your right hand is on this diagonal, and you are twisting to your left for triangle pose. And then there's going to be this invitation, where you can take the back of the right hand around the outside of the chair, and you can have it backwards there. So some people will be able to put their fingers, like I have the kind of chair that lets me put my fingers there. And then we may be able to reach this arm overhead. So what's happening is the twist between how I'm holding the chair, I've got the chair to help me with that twist. Now, not everyone's upper back is the same height chair as mine, nor is everyone's body proportion the same length. So let's see how we do. We're going to warm into it, so that final sort of frontier is not necessary at this very moment. For right now, right foot forward, left foot back. And let's take the arms wide. And then simply come down to what you think of as your sort of regular trikonasana, albeit using a chair. Keep your left arm past your left ear. And I want you to press into your right arm firmly to support a rotation of your chest to your left. At the same time, press strongly from your left hip to your left heel. So there's strength being expressed in your right arm, left hip, left leg, left foot, your right leg. And then there's this sort of aspirational opportunity with the left arm, your chest, your heart, and your eyes. Now when you exhale, bend your right knee, and let's make this into parsvakonasana, the side angle pose. Press firmly into your right arm, so that supports a rotation of your heart to the left. Keep your left butt, left leg, left heel strong. And then bend your right elbow to your right thigh, and just check and see for yourself this morning, how is this side bend? How far away is the upper back of your chair? And don't compromise your side bend and your open twist by going forward like this just to get to the chair. So keep it really clear. We just want to know, each of us, what our body can do at this moment. And breathing in, breathing out. One more time, breathe in. And now as you exhale, root from your low belly into your legs and rise up, arms wide. And then release both arms. Let's change sides. So step your left foot forward and your right foot back. I'll change so I can keep seeing you. You don't have to change for my benefit. That's just for me to keep seeing you guys. So we're at the left side of the chair now. And bring your arms wide as you inhale. And then left hand down. Right arm past your right ear. Root from your right hip down into your right heel. And with your left arm, be strong so that you are supporting a rotation of your chest and heart to your right. You can think of the three supports you have, that is left arm, left leg, right leg. These supports for your heart, your head, your eyes, to reach towards your aspirational self with your right arm. And as you exhale, bend your left knee so it comes over your heel. Place your left forearm, maybe on your left thigh, and keeping a clear sense of rotating still to your right, check and see what kind of side bend is available in your body in an honest way. The upper back of the chair isn't like a pot of gold. You don't get a big award there, so if your arm is up, it's totally fine. Please keep your left inner thigh long and your left outer hip and outer thigh strong. And with an exhale breath, root down to rise up, arms wide. Release both arms, step your feet in, take mountain pose for a moment and notice what's happening. How are you? Now take the right foot again, forward, left foot back. And you're on the right side of your mat, kind of the right side of the chair. Okay, let's come down. Right hand to its customary place. And then place your right hand across the chair to the left corner of the chair. And use the strength of your right arm in that position to help you rotate your chest to your left. Strengthen your pelvis on the back side especially. Root from your left butt to your left heel. So when you move your right arm across like that, it's not advisable to move the butt back to get your hand to go across. Keep your legs steady, rotate to your left, raise your left arm. And then begin to explore. If you keep the right arm stable and you start adding a little side bend, you are still twisting left, and some of you are going to find that you want to walk your right hand along the chair towards the leg of the chair, the side of the chair, and some of you might find that you want to put your hand on the outside of the chair, as I just did with mine. And maybe if the left hand reaches the upper back of the chair, it's kind of reaching on the left side of the chair, on the right side of the chair. So you've got your hands one way over to the, let's call that the right side of the chair. I'm sorry, left side of the chair, and one way over to the right side of the chair. And then exhale and bend your right knee so it becomes side angle pose. With this twist in the upper body. Yeah. Thank you for being willing to explore. Keep the right outer hip really strong and your right inner thigh long. And then releasing both arms as you exhale, press down to rise up. Relax your arms and change sides with your feet. Okay, so left foot out on the left side of the chair. So I'll call this the left side, this is the right side. I'm looking at you, so for me this is like the back side and the front side, but we'll call that left side and right side. Arms wide. Come down. And now walk your left hand to the right side of the chair. And press firmly down with your left arm. So you're going to keep the right butt toned, The back side of the triangle pose is still stable. And rotate your heart to your right. Now keeping the left thigh also stable, so your left knee should not be in Shavasana right now. You can begin to side bend. Do your best to keep the left arm straight as you're side bending. So the side bend, we intend for your right hand to come down to the left side, in my case the back side of the chair. And some of you might choose to put your front hand around and actually hold the leg of the chair there. It's a big stretch. Thank you for being willing to explore. And breathing in, breathing out. And then when you exhale, relax the left arm. Now exhale, relax the right arm and rise up to standing, arms wide. Okay, make the feet parallel and come down to Prasarita-Padottanasana. If possible, in your Prasarita, you can cross the elbows so the upper back is still broadening. Reach your left hand towards your right foot, right hand towards your left foot. And then please shift your hands to your hips. Rise up to stand. And let's go heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, and mountain pose. And you can ask now, like, how do you feel about responding to what's being summoned in your life, even if it's showing up as adversity in your life? And also this larger summoning that we're having in relationship to the climate crisis. There are other summons between our personal and the climate crisis too, of course. I do think of the climate crisis as the biggest, since we're all dependent upon the ecology. And now we're going to come down to the floor to do a variation on bridge pose. I would like you to have a blanket close by. I want to show you first how to do this with just the floor and then how to do it with a folded blanket. And for many of us, this folded blanket is going to be the one that we'll be using. And some of us are going to use two folded blankets when we get to it. So I'd like you to come down so that you are lying on your back with your knees bent and your feet on the chair somewhere. And be close enough to your chair that you can actually hold the toes of the chair. So if you have a long torso and shorter arms, which is my circumstance, then you have to kind of have your hips under the seat of the chair a little bit to hold. Bring your head to center, please. And tuck your left shoulder under, tuck your right shoulder under, and try pressing your shoulders firmly down towards the floor. Shoulders, upper arms, elbows, the backs of your wrists. And then you're going to pick up your hips in a moment. So what we do is press into the chair seat, or the legs of the chair, or the front edge of the chair, and just come up to a baby bridge pose. So the hips are not the highest possible, but you've kind of worked out your arms and your legs. Again, please don't turn your head in this position. Now press firmly down into your right shoulder for stability. Pick up the left and tuck it under. Press it down. Pick up the right shoulder, tuck it under. And gaze towards your heart. And slowly begin to raise your tailbone towards your knees. Press the shoulders really firmly down.
so that the cervical spine is not actually touching the floor. Neither is your thoracic spine. The back of your shoulders are touching, and the back of your upper arms, the backs of the elbows, the sides of your forearms, and the sides of your hands and pinkies are touching the floor, but there's no part of the spine touching the floor right now. Now, keeping your chest and heart lifted, start lowering your hips down so you actually are coming down with the spine in a back bend. And once your hips come down, then reach your arms around to cross your chest. Put the legs up on the chair for a moment and let them relax. And take a deep breath in. Let your body sigh that out with the exhale. And then please roll to your side, and having a blanket close by or two blankets, you can watch me. Okay, now here's a very important clarification. The width of this blanket is a little bit wider than my shoulder width, and that is helpful. You need the width of your blanket to match this width for you or a little bit larger. So sometimes people will use these blankets like this, and that means that this is wider than most of us for the shoulder girdle. The difficulty is this distance and the distance of your shoulders to your hands to the chair. So what's important is that your shoulders will be on the blanket and supported, and your hands will have access to the stabilizing force of the toes of the chair. So I'm going to turn my blanket like this, and I'm going to show you with two blankets, and notice that I'm not putting the fringy edge of the blanket. I'm putting the firmly stacked edge of the blanket where my shoulders are going to be. So that's this side here. These four edges of blanket line up to be firm. Okay, and then I'm going to lie down. You can watch, please, so that my shoulders are on the blanket and my head is not. And my hair is all over my face. Okay, so here you can check that your shoulders will be about an inch or so from the top of the blanket. You will have access to the toes of the chair. Mine needs to be a little bit closer. So when I hold the toes of the chair, I'm then going to be able to go up, and I adjust the right shoulder, left shoulder. And because the shoulders press down against this blanket, my neck is not now touching the floor. And I have two blankets by choice. You can use one, you can use two, some people use three. So I'd like you to lie down on your blanket situation, and if this is your first time sorting through this and the blankets become complicated, just go back to the first pose for right now. This is not your only chance to learn this technique. And don't turn your head once you're getting into your position. I'm just looking at you for a moment there. Okay, so when you're first lying down, you check now the shoulders are not going past the edge of the blankets. They are still on the blanket, even though your neck is not. And you're going to hold the toes of the chair. Press your feet onto the edge of the chair. Lift your hips. And then tuck the shoulders under very strongly. So your arms, I want them to feel firmly committed to the floor. Press the shoulders back and use the strength of your upper arms, your shoulders. Raise your heart, and then your tailbone, and gaze in towards your heart. So this is a variation on the bridge pose and the movement towards learning the shoulder stand pose. So if you are avoiding inversions because you're on your menstrual cycle, this is a good time to bow out of this position. You've had a taste of the approach, you've checked out the method, but then you can come down to rest on your back with your feet up on the chair. Press firmly into your heels and your toes on the chair seat. Keep the back of your pelvis and hamstrings strong. And then to come down, I want you to keep your arms and shoulders really stable. So keep your heart rising, your chin in towards your throat, and lower your hips slowly back to the floor. As you get closer to the floor, you're going to release the arms, cross them over your chest again. Put your legs up on the chair seat and the upper back of the chair. And then scoot yourself backwards on your blanket until your shoulder blades just start to fall off the blanket. And you can come into what we call a T shape, like this. And rest your legs up on the seat of the chair. Bring your head to center. And close your eyes. We want the shoulders to be falling back towards the floor, like gravity is encouraging the upper chest, the collarbones, the shoulders themselves to release from the sternum to the clavicle to the shoulder. I want your neck to feel really free here, so there's no part of your upper thoracic nor cervical spine that are touching the floor. And relax the back of your waist to go down towards the floor. It may not touch, of course, you don't have to force it. I did use the word relax. And then I'm going to ask you to bring your knees towards your chest momentarily. Roll to your side, right or left. And take your top blanket, if you're using two, and fold it in half. If you're using only one blanket, please fold that one in half. And then come down so you have your hips elevated. If you had two blankets that you were working with, you have your hips elevated. And you have this slight opening to the heart also. So what you can end up with is this little waterfall right here at the heart, and this tiny elevation of the sacrum and the tailbone, and the larger elevation of the shins and the feet. So 3 little waterfalls, or if you've got only one blanket, then you have 2 waterfalls. And close your eyes and let this be a time of integration. Listen to the quiet wisdom, this inner psyche that knows what is needing to be summoned in your own life for your journey, for your unfolding. And listen also without any sense of being burdened. Listen for the larger summoning to our world. We are not actually being burdened, we are being summoned. See how those words simmer in you as we rest in Shavasana. Invite the entirety of your body to relax for integration, for your mind to stay gently present and reflective. Allow your body to relax even a little more deeply. Your gaze inward, the mind only reflecting, not acting.
So allow the mind and the body to get even more still right now, the thinking mind. So your reflection, wisdom mind can stay present. And with awareness as your guide, begin to slightly deepen your breath. Slide your feet and knees off the chair and let the knees come in towards your chest. Maybe a little bit of a rock side to side. And then roll down to one side and rise up to a seat that you can use for meditation. When you rise up, let your body sit upright but also relatively still, and try to sense how your body, how your somatics is experiencing this summoning. You can join your hands together at your heart. You're welcome to sing with me if you like. Om Bhagava Sivaha Tat Savitor Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. I'm going to come up to see you a little closer. transpired. I'm just going to gaze at your radiance for a few moments, because also you can ask a question.